Hi guys, welcome to Study Club's YouTube channel. Today we'll be discussing about a biology topic. You guys might have already discussed this in class or have a background knowledge of it, which is great. I'm here to just provide you guys with a bite-sized information, the summary of it, so that you guys may find it easier for you guys to review for an exam, for example, or to just take notes or whatever it is you guys might find this useful for. So yeah, today we'll be discussing about the human digestive system. So we'll be breaking this up into three parts. So the first section, we'll be discussing about the differentiation between mechanical and chemical digestion. So the digestive system is one of the 11 major organ systems that serve the main role of breaking down the food we eat through these two means. So why does it need to be made into smaller molecules? Because our cells need energy to perform their daily functions and they can't directly use the chunks of food we eat for their use, then the digestive system serves a really big role in keeping us alive, essentially. So making it smaller allows it to be absorbed by the cells to supply them with energy to carry out their daily functions to sustain life in an organism. So as mentioned, food is broken down into smaller molecules through these two methods, the mechanical and chemical methods. So what is the difference between the two and how can we differentiate it? So in mechanical digestion, food is physically broken down into smaller fragments of food through chewing, churning, and segmentation. But for now, we'll be focusing on the chewing and churning. So essentially, the mechanical, as you know, the name suggests, actually just physically breaking down the food. It takes place mainly in two different organs, which is the mouth. By chewing, your teeth will grind the food and making it into smaller pieces. And the second one is in the stomach, where the muscles in the stomach lining would actually physically squeeze the food. This is called the churning. So the function of the mouth to chew is to actually increase the surface area of the food so that the enzymes or the stomach acids, the bile and the enzymes, which we will get to later, would be more effective because an increased surface area of the food means that there's more area for these enzymes, stomach acids, and bile to act upon, which makes the digestion easier and faster. So in chemical digestion, large molecules are broken down to small molecules. So it's not only just from big food into small little chunks of food, but they're actually broken down into their smaller components chemically. So these are the actions that help the chemical digestion is done by stomach acids, bile, and enzymes. So why do we need a chemical digestion after we've done the mechanical digestion? Well, as I said before, the chunks of food aren't readily used by cells. We need to break it down into smaller molecules through these processes so that the cells can actually use it. Right. So the stomach acids are released by the gastric glands in the stomach, and it's released into the stomach. And the physical churning of the stomach lining, as I said before, helps with mixing the food with the acids so that the acids can interact with the food chunks so that it's interacting and it becomes digested. Without the churning process, then the food, not all the chunks of food will interact with the stomach acid. So the second one is bile. So bile is released by the gallbladder in the liver into the intestine. It is manufactured in the liver, and then it is contained in the gallbladder. Then when it's needed, it will be released into the intestine. Finally, we have the enzymes. So there's a lot of different types of enzymes, and we'll get to that in our next section. So section 2 is the digestive enzymes. So first of all, let us define enzymes. So enzymes are biological catalysts that speed up the rate of chemical reaction, in this case digestion, by lowering the activation energy. So you must recognize the word catalyst or speeding up the rate of reaction and activation energy from your chemistry classes. So catalyst mainly means that it's a chemical molecule that would lower the activation energy so that it is more energetically favorable. And no matter how many times it is used, it won't get used up. That's what a catalyst is. And this is biological because it is manufactured originally from our body. So it's a natural kind of enzyme that we manufacture ourselves. So each enzyme is specific towards a substrate to allow the digestion of certain molecules. This means that each enzyme are uniquely shaped so that they could only interact with the food molecule that they're supposed to interact with. So that, like a enzyme that is supposed to digest proteins don't digest fats. Instead, they all have a specific enzyme to bind to. All right. So what are these specific enzymes and what are they called? First of all, we have the protease. So these protease breaks down proteins in our food into their smaller molecules called monomers into amino acids. So proteins are the polymers and amino acids are the monomers. Basically, monomers are the building blocks to these molecules. So if you're playing Lego, for example, if you're going to build like a car or a castle with the Legos, all the little pieces are the building blocks. So the little pieces are the amino acids, the maltose, nucleosides, and fatty acids, and your final product is actually just the protein, starch, nucleic acid, and fats. So yeah. So the protease specifically binds to proteins and breaks it down to amino acids. The amylase breaks down starch and makes it into maltose. The nuclease binds to nucleic acids and breaks it down to nucleosides. And the lipase would bind to fats and breaks it down to fatty acids and glycerol. All right, so section 3 will be examining like the functions of each digestive organs because there's quite a lot of them, and it might be very challenging for you guys to remember it at first, but the more you familiarize yourself with it, the easier it comes to just point it out from a diagram. So the anatomy of the digestive system consists of the alimentary canal, which is just a long muscular tube, as people would describe it. This is where the food actually like interacts with our body, and we also have the accessory organs. So we'll be dividing it. Dividing into two sections. First one is the alimentary canal and the accessory organs. So the alimentary canal moves our food from our mouth through peristalsis. The peristalsis is the muscle motion that allows food to move in only one direction. So this is a fun fact. This is why, like, if you do a handstand and you try to swallow food, it would not have any difficulty to go down your throat and into your stomach because of these because of the peristalsis action. So it actually physically the muscles move so that the food actually forces it down to one direction. So without this, if you swallow food, it's not only like dependent on gravity, but it actually is physically moved down, squeezed down your body. So yeah, but don't do this at home because it might cause choking, so don't try. But this is just a hypothetical thing that is not like a hypothetical thing that is actually, this is how you prove that we have muscles that help move our food in one direction. So the accessory organs, secondly, just aid in the digestion. So it's mostly just secretes our digestive substances such as the enzymes, the stomach acids, and the bile, but they do not actually receive or transfer food in any way. So as I said, the food actually just goes through our alimentary canal, and the accessory organs do not interact with the food at all. All right, so here we have the diagram. So you could see that the alimentary canal here would be consisting of the esophagus, the stomach, the small intestine, and the large intestine. So our alimentary canal starts in the mouth and ends in the anus. And our accessory organs are just things that contribute some digestive enzymes or bile or stomach acids to help with the digestion, mostly chemical digestion. So the accessory organs include salivary glands and pancreas, liver, and gallbladder. So here you can actually see the summarized version of the functions of each organs. So the esophagus transports food from our mouth to our stomach, and the stomach mixes the food with stomach acid and churned by the muscles in the lining, as I said before. And then we would have the small intestine. It is a long, highly folded tube where the nutrients are absorbed back into the bloodstream. So mostly in the small intestine, all our food molecules have been broken down completely so that it could be absorbed back into the bloodstream. Right. The accessory organs include salivary glands. So the salivary glands moistens food in our mouth so that it would be easier, it would pass through our esophagus easier. Furthermore, the saliva also consists of amylase that breaks down the starch. So this is also why, like, if you eat bread and you chew, it would slowly become sweeter because the starch is slowly broken down into simple sugars. Right. And then we have the pancreas. The pancreas produces the most digestive enzymes, the most diverse, which are secreted into the small intestine. The liver produces bile, and all these bile would be stored in the gallbladder. And the gallbladder, as I said, would store everything, and when it's needed, it will be secreted into the small intestine. All right, so after my presentation, we'll be having a short review session. So yeah, we'll be doing a little quizzes, but since we're not doing this live, I'll just be flipping through some cards and giving you guys some time when you watch the video to answer it on your own. All right, so the first question, proteins are broken down into, so as I said before, proteins are the polymers, which is the larger molecules. And when it's broken down into their smaller monomers or their building blocks. So if you guys remember, proteins are broken down through proteins, and what is the final result of proteins? Right. I hope you guys have your answer. I'm going to flip it now. It's amino acids. So if you guys got that correctly, congratulations. Right. So in which organ is bile produced? So bile is the one of the digestive molecules that help with the chemical digestion. So where is it produced? If I could give you a little hint, it will be released into the small intestine. It is produced in the liver. So if you guys answered gallbladder, that is incorrect because it is produced in the liver, but it is stored in the gallbladder. Next question, which type of enzyme breaks down proteins? I actually just gave this answer before in the first question. I hope you guys have locked in on your answers. I'll be flipping it now. It is proteins. Just so like a key reminder, probably like a hint, proteins and proteins both start with prot. So it's just E's and ins. So that's an easy way to remember it. The first question, which type of enzyme breaks down fats? So a little hint maybe would help. Fats would be broken down into amino acids and glycerol. So which type of enzyme helps these, helps the fats into broken down to their smaller monomers? I'll be flipping it now. I hope you guys are locked in. Lipase. As well, like the proteins. Lip means lipids. So like fats, another word for fats is lipids. So yeah, lipase and lipids. Which of these is not true about bile? Here are the options. You need to choose which one is wrong. Right? I hope you guys are locked in. I will be flipping it. It is stored in the pancreas, which is wrong because bile is stored in the gallbladder, as I've mentioned. So what is the purpose of the acids found in the stomach? I hope you guys are locked in. I'll be flipping it. Right, so these are the two functions. They'll be helping with the digestion of proteins as well as killing unwanted pathogens. So as we eat, the food we eat may contain like some bacteria. So with the high pH of like the stomach condition, then the pathogens and the bacteria will die and it will not try and infect us. Seventh question, in which organ is most of your food absorbed? I hope you guys are locked in. I will be flipping it. It is the small intestine. So most of the digestion occurs in the mouth and in the stomach and in the beginning of the small intestine as well. However, it is mostly absorbed in the small intestine because the structure of the small intestine have a lot of folds, which increases their surface area. So it is the most favorable organ to absorb the food back into our bloodstream. Lipids or fats are broken down into, I have mentioned this before, I hope you guys remember. I will be flipping it now. It'll be broken down into glycerol and fatty acids. The next question, we have starch is broken down into. I'll be flipping it now. Maltose. Next. The next question, in which organ is water removed from your food? I hope you guys are locked in. I will be flipping. It is the large intestine because our final what will be ejected from our body would be a solid waste, and if the absorbing function of your large intestine is not working well, this would be causing like diarrhea and yeah, a lot of health complications. So yeah, this is the answer. That was just a fun fact. So which type of enzyme breaks down starch? I hope you guys are locked in on the answers. I'll be flipping it up. This amylase. Next. This is the final answer. Final question. Which of these organs is not part of the digestive system? I will be showing you guys the options. We have the stomach, liver, kidneys, and esophagus. I hope you guys are locked in on your answers. I will be flipping it now. It is the kidneys. Alright, I hope you guys found that session fun, rewarding, educational, informative. I hope you guys had fun or learned something new. Or perhaps it may be helping you in your quiz on your exams. So if you guys liked the things that we're doing in this channel, please yeah, revisit next time. And yeah, thank you for supporting our CAS project and have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye bye.